Hi, it's Friday, April 4th, and it's time for another Flosstube video. Hi, my name is Marissa. This is Mkissa Creations. I am Mkissa Creations over on Instagram as well. Would love to have you join me there. This is a Flosstube video. It's a video mostly about cross stitch. Today it's only about cross stitch. I don't have any other crafts to show you. I just have exciting cross stitch news. And let's get into it. I was away for work last week. We went to Atlanta, Hotlanta, lived up to its name, mostly because I live in Maine and it has not been hot here. We got there and it was 65 degrees, and my coworker and I walked down to the rideshare area at the airport, and they had overhead heaters on, and I was like ripping my airplane layers off. It felt so hot in comparison. And then we got in the rental car or the Uber, and the driver had the heater turned up to like 80 degrees, and it was just too hot. It was way too hot for these Maine-blooded kids. So we did that car ride with our heads like hanging out the window like dogs on a car ride, because it was unbelievable. And then, you know, Space Cadet, traveling alone, which I don't normally do, and so I didn't even adjust the temperature in the hotel room, and it was set to 70. And I woke up in the middle of the night sweating buckets because I've been sleeping in like a 63, 64 degree house lately, and those 6 degrees sure made a difference. So I am happy to be back in Maine. I wanted to thank everybody for their comments last video about my new microphone. I'm trying again today. I made sure everything was super plugged in. I am hopeful, but it seems like it recorded, and like people that were listening on headphones could only hear in their left ear. So fingers crossed that it happens or it fixes this time. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to come up with a new solution. Hopefully this worked, but I might have to dig down a little bit deeper on what that problem might have been. So on my week away from home, I did not get any stitching done, which was really sad. I brought 2 projects with me. I guess they were just taking up space in my bag, which is kind of a bummer. I did find out while I was on my work trip that I got into the Library Stitchers Retreat. So I paid my invoice, and that is in like 3 weeks. And so I'm really excited to get to stitch and hang out with my friends. When like the first signups happened, I just didn't have the funds to do it. And so I was like, well, I'll put myself on the waiting list, and perhaps if it gets to me, then it gets to me, and I will have the funds then. And I did. So I get to go. I'm really excited. I don't think I'm going to be staying over. It's only about an hour away from us. So I think that I'm just going to drive back and forth. I didn't really participate in any of the like late night stitching. I did have a lot of fun hanging out with my friend that I stayed with, Hillary. So I don't know. It just, again, that adds the extra expense, and the drive is not that hard for me, and it doesn't start super early in the morning. It starts at 9. So as long as I get there on the first day and claim my seat, then my seat will be there for me the next day also. And so I won't really have to like worry about that like initial jet in, and I'm pretty good about being there on time, bright and early for the initial first check-in day. So that's super exciting stitching news. I love little retreats, and I love retreats like this. It's a lot of Maine people, a lot of New England people, and then there's some others that come from further away. And so it's just really great to sit and stitch with a bunch of people that share the same hobby, and it's just something so enjoyable. So if you have the opportunity to get yourself onto a wait list for something, definitely do it. Stitch Maine date has been announced, but I don't believe that registration has opened yet, or it might have, and then I'm going to be on the wait list for that too. That is in June, I believe. So a little bit more time before that comes, but really excited for Library Stitchers Retreat. I had so much fun last year. I got a lot done, and I stitch at retreats. I socialize, but not in like a run around the room way. Mostly I'm gonna try to be a little bit better about doing that this year, making sure I'm getting up a little bit more often and going and chit-chatting with people. But so I've got to start making my little gifts. I'm hoping to bring something for everybody this time, and then make something for my table mates as well, which I did last time. So on it, ready to go. Don't know what I'm gonna make yet. Last time I made scissor fobs for like my table mates, and then also for a couple additional people that a couple of the library stitchers that I really wanted to thank for putting on the event. So I am gonna try to do something like that again. And then I made little thread beds for my table. So I got to think of something new for this go round. On our last little gathering, I did floss drops, and I might do that again. Been trying to be a little bit more active with my Cricut, so we shall try and see what comes from that. I have stitched in the last week though, so even though I did miss the previous week, I have been putting in some Precipitation Day stitches because we actually had snow. It was still snow day stitches. We had snow. I got back on Thursday, and then on Saturday, Friday night into Saturday, we got like 6 inches of snow. It was heavy, wet snow, and then it rained the next day. So it all disappeared pretty quickly. Today is a beautiful day, as you can see from the sun trying to sneak into the window behind me. And we're excited for the weekend. I think we should have a little bit of nice weather. Today is beautiful though. We might go do our first beach pizza night after we pick up my daughter from her circus activities today. She does juggling and unicycle riding, and so she stays after school for that on Fridays, and I think we're gonna go grab a pizza and head to the beach and catch the sunset there. And yeah, and I got my email for my part-time second job that I do during the summer. So that's all starting. Life is about to get busy. Plants and seedlings are doing all right. I don't use grow lights, so it is really just based on the amount of sun that they get in the window. So stuff is started. It's not super big yet. And nothing is outside except for the garlic still. I really should try to get some peas in the ground. So that's your garden update. And let's update some stitching, shall we? We're 8 minutes-ish in, and it's time. It is time. So like I said, I got Precipitation Day stitching done. My Precipitation Day project is my second oldest whip. My first oldest whip is, or my oldest whip is a Halloween stitch, and I don't think I really like stitching on spooky stuff, not in spooky season. So I chose my second oldest project as my Precipitation Day stitch. Last year it was excuse me. Last year it was Ink Circles 99, which I ended up finishing. So that was really exciting. So I really am embracing the Precipitation Day stitch project and trying to get some done. So it is Shores of Hakron Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. And show you the big picture on the back. I really like how it has this larger picture because the one on the front is a little bit on the smaller side. So I have been working on this block right here. I finished this block earlier in the year, and I am almost done with this block. I've got to dig through my, I think I might have to go buy a color. It's been a little while since we've had to grab some DMC, but I think it might be time. I did not participate in the like Joann's closing DMC madness. I think our stores up here got cleaned out pretty quick. So I do need to order a few things. I did order a cone of DMC this week of 310 because half the time I go, I know that like when floss is on sale, people just like grab the 310, the Blanc, the B5200, $37.99, like all those colors that are just like standards for us. I feel like people grab those so fast, and sometimes there's just none there. So I know I have a backup skein of 310 to use before that gets here, which we'll talk about in just 1 minute. And well, not just 1 minute, probably in a couple minutes. And then, yeah, then I won't have to worry about it. I got the big cone, the cone of doom. If you are a witchy stitcher, you know about the cone of doom. And I think that will just be really helpful to have around. I also own a cone of white. I often use that for when I want to dye my own floss. And it's just lasted so long, and it's such a huge benefit to have on hand that I'm really excited to have the black on hand as well. That will only really be able to be used as black, although I don't know, maybe there's some bleach experiments to be had here with that, and kind of see where we can get, and like adding some purple to it, because there's so many cool blacks that have like a bluish tint, but there's not really any blacks that have like a purple tint. So that might be my goal on like a floss dyeing experiment as far as what we can do with black floss. But black is coming. So much black is coming. 310 is coming. I'm really excited for that. Okay, so let me show you where I'm at with Shores and kind of explain a little bit of what I got done. So I filled in all of the seahorse. Last time I showed it to you, I just had his little outline done. And I say he because seahorses really, you know, they buck the norms, and those men are examples for the rest of the world. They really take care of their young. So so I finished him, and he's got all filled in, and he is stitched in called for color. And then I got the eel done, and he has some back stitching on top, but I don't know if you can really, if he's coming in that great. I started on this fish. The other prominent color for this fish is what I'm missing. I have the 2 additional colors that need to go on this fish. One of them is this red that's in the seahorse's crown, and its accents, and then it's also in the eel. So it goes in the fins of the fish, and then there's like a lighter, I think, or brighter yellow that goes in there. So the next time you see this one, that block should be done. Hopefully I'll be using some of my new cone to start making the other blocks on this. But yeah, I'm jazzed for that to be finished. I have made more progress on this project in the 4 months of this year than I had in the previous 4 years. So I am giving mad kudos to the Precipitation Day situation and to the amount of precipitation that we get in Maine. So thank you. If you have a Precipitation Day project, let me know if you are finding success in that, or if it's just something that you feel like is carrying the dregs, because then it might be time to like rethink that project. That's why I really made this one my Precipitation Day project, because I was like, I haven't been stitching on it. Do I really like it that much? And if it was every time that it rained or snowed and I was like, ugh, I have to stitch on that, it might just be time to like let it go. And I don't know. I've just been able to use that Precipitation Day as a major motivator, and it really helped me last year get my 99 done, and I'm excited for it to help me get this done. I don't think that I will finish this year. I thought this block was going to be easy because it has like less, like this had a lot of fill-in, like and then there's a big lighthouse over here. So it was like a lot of solid stitching, and this one wasn't as much, but I think all of the counting that I had to do made it so that this block did take a little bit longer, because like once I got to the filling in the seahorse, it was really fast. And I think filling in this guy will be very quick, and the stitches I have left on there should be fairly quick as well. So if I finish this guy and I still have not acquired this new color, then I will probably kind of leave it and then go on to another block and see where I want to go from here. Actually, we can maybe talk about that. So where do I want to go from here? So my two like solid options are these houses. I could start this big block and maybe get the whale done, but I think I really am either going to go here or here. Now, my only issue with this is that I have stitched Carriage House Samplings Widow's Walk, and this is so similar. And it's been a while since I finished that, but I don't know if I'm ready to stitch another Widow's Walk house. It's like almost the same. Even it is a little bit more like it's bricky, I guess, in the house. So it will kind of like liven things up a little bit. But then that one has like all this water underneath, and this one has all this stuff underneath. So either way, I'm gonna be on a stitch heavy section of this piece. Because then like you have this one over here, and that one, gosh, all those little like spaced out stars, they're in like a really deep red, and so carrying the floss is just not really an option because I'm stitching this on Doubloon, which is a pretty light like yellowy sand, I guess, and I can't carry the floss. So that's going to be kind of a beast with starting and stopping, and we will see how that goes when we get there. And then the other project I worked on was Sally Spencer. Sally Spencer is by Birds of a Feather. It has been recently re-released by the Colorado Cross Stitcher, and she has reimagined the patterns, and with permission is reprinting. I am so happy about this. I've been eyeing this pattern for a long time. I bought it for myself for my birthday. So this is Sally Spencer, Birds of a Feather. And I finished the bottom right-hand page. I am stitching this on 40 count Old Massachusetts linen from Rabbit. What's her name? She has a bunny. Oh my gosh. Well, my brain's just not going to pull that one right now. Hopefully it gets there, but I'll put it, it's underneath. But here's where this is at. And in the last video, I talked about changing the initials to the people in my family, and I rethought that. So the aqua-ish color that I'm using, the almond M&Ms, it's showing really lightly. It shows better in person, but on the camera it's pretty light. Anyways, I decided that since I am stitching Sally Spencer, that I'm gonna stitch it the way that Sally Spencer stitched it. So, primitive hair linen. It came. I got it. It's in my brain. So I'll show you the colors that I'm using for this because none of them are the called fors. And, but yeah, so it's coming along. This is the bottom left corner. It is the full page plus a little bit more. I think it like cuts off right here. So I moved over to the other bottom page, and the bottom pages are smaller than the top pages. So I wouldn't say that I'm a quarter of the way done yet, but I did get progress, and I'm really happy with the way that it's looking, and I'm really enjoying my colors. I am stitching in a mix of silks and cottons. Lives in my Whippa Keepa from Stephanie, the New England Stitcher. And let me show you my floss. So the white is not totally white. It is, I called it Garden Pink. It's naturally dyed with red cabbage, and it has a nice little tint to it, and it's showing up well white-ish on that fabric. Most of the white is like highlighted by, or like it's an accent. It will be interesting when I get, some of the letters are in white, but even on the cover picture, like they're not super stand outy. So I think it should be just fine. All right, so I'm using my garden pink. I'm using wrought iron for the black from Gast. I am using Wintertide from Color and Cotton as the darker blue-green. This silk is a Silks4U silk. I will put the number below. It is the same one that I used for the token by Long Dog. And it variegates between like a 666 and a 815, 816. The lighter aqua is Almond M&M's Seaweed. And then the pink-ish rose that I'm using is Color and Cotton Barn Red. And that is from back in the day of the square tags. And I was a part of her primitive color of the months. And that came in that. So I'm working on using my Color and Cotton stash. I'm working on using my stash for projects. And that's the stitching I got done. Let's talk about some plans. So for plans, today's the day. Lola Crow's Extraordinary Birds Sal is coming out. It doesn't come out till 2, but I needed to get my filming done on my lunch. So I have not started it yet. I have not purchased it yet because I want to see what it looks like frame-wise. Because the fabric that she calls for, when I looked it up, it is like definitely one of those fabrics that you're not always going to get the same look from each piece that you purchase. So I at least want to see what hers looked like as the full piece, which we will get to see when she releases the frame. So when she releases her patterns for her stitch alongs, she releases the frame and then gives you 6 weeks to complete the frame. And then you start getting weekly releases of different parts that are, you know, inside. So you will be able to really see the fabric when she releases this first part. So 2 o'clock Eastern time today is when that comes out. And so I will start making decisions when that happens. So I will show you next time what I decided on, and hopefully a little bit of progress on getting the frame stitched up. And hopefully that's where my black comes in. My cone of 310 will be here and I will have that. But I do, like I said, have a backup skein and a couple of skeins probably floating around of 310 that I could borrow from just to start. And yeah, so I'm super excited to start that. I really, really, really would like to pick a Long Dog back up. I'm still enjoying Sally Spencer, so I think I'm just gonna really need to like rotate a little bit more than I was before. I tend to stick to about 3 projects that go through a more consistent rotation, and I want to touch more of my pieces. So I set a goal for myself to touch all of my whips this year, and I am not doing amazing at that so far, and we're already in April. So gosh, that first month of this year went by like a slog, and now it just seems to be flying. So I need to get my hands on some more of my pieces and really kind of focus on when I will be doing that. I've got a couple of like garden-y pieces that it's garden time, it's garden season. So I think I will pick those up and try to get work on those done. Let's see, one of them is this little House Needleworks. I've been working on this pin cushion, and so I think that I would like to pick that back up. Oh, it's not, is it even in here? I guess we're gonna have to go find that piece. Why? Where? What? How? This is not good. Where's my piece? All right, so I'm gonna have to find that piece so I can work on it. But there's also another pattern attached to this that I do want to stitch, and it's with the same flosses. So, and these are all flosses that I pulled from my stash as well. And I want to do that. I was just watching somebody else, and she was working on a wicked plant. I have that I need to start. So perhaps that will end up in my starts pile. And then I have also, let's see, I showed it to you last time, the blooms from Emma Congdon that have, like, when everything starts to come up, spring bulbs. So I would like to work on that as well. So I think we're just gonna really embrace the fact that it's spring with what I decide to stitch on, that garden season is coming and is really exciting. I expect that my garden will be a little bit more put together the next time I see you. So perhaps a little garden tour will be in order. We did get a brand new garden bed that my mom bought for me for my birthday that we put together. And so I am super pumped on that. It's really big. I thought I was ordering the same size as the ones that I already had, but this one is definitely larger, which is really exciting. And will definitely give us a lot more space. We are in the process of taking our fence down. So we have a lot of backyard projects to do, which does take into my stitching time a little bit, but I'm trying to be better about stitching at night rather than just watching TV. I've been listening to audiobooks. I've been listening to all the Bridgerton books. We don't have Netflix, so now I'm like kind of desperate to watch Bridgerton. So Netflix might come. It's Formula One season has started. Race number 3 is this weekend. I really wanted to get like a race tracker stitch set up this year, and I just failed at that. And so I don't know if that's going to be a goal to try to like figure out before we're like on the break of the season. I found a really cute one where somebody designed all little people that look like all the drivers with all their different color like liveries. So I feel like that would be really fun. And then they're each like holding the flag of the nation that they won the race in. So she's just doing the race winners for every race. I don't know. I kind of want to do like 1, 2, 3 on mine. So but the little people that she did were really cute. So I don't know, I might have to dig that one out. Baseball started, so that's exciting. I'm just trying to really find the happies that exist in my life, and those are them right now. And I hope that you are having the best days available to you, and I wish you all the happiness in your stitching, because that's what hobbies are all about. Happy stitching. Bye.